be hanging out, but this is not going to be a gameplay video. This is going to be me poking at the code of the rogue. Uh, so don't expect anything high action packed, but if you have questions just about the game, I can still answer them. So I'm going to pull up the rogue and see what I think is really bad about it. Some of the changes are going to be really easy. Some of the changes are going to be a good bit harder. So let's start with fan of knives. I'm just going to go ahead and pick skills folder up here. Open that and go. Let's take a look at fan knives first. All right. This is the game unpacked. Um, Here is my OneDrive for it. Okay, so need to make a folder for skills. I could have copy paste, but I don't want to overwrite all the files, and I don't feel like going back and deleting the ones I don't need when I don't need them. All right. To open with, choose another app. I have not done this on this PC yet, so Notepad++. There we go. Always. Cool beans. All right, the first thing that we're going to do with, I think, Rogue Fan of Knives is probably one of the better balanced skills. Let me pop up OBS so I can actually see if people have post questions. The thing I have an issue with is the focused throw talent is the first thing. The fact that it weakens you for so long. So it just needs a substantial damage boost if you're going to be taking that hit to just doing a cone. So we're going to go ahead and find that. It's going to be after all of these special things. Yeah, ricochet's fine. Oh, I found this first. I also don't like this. How every time it's doubling the poison damage. I would much prefer if it did something more consistent here. And then I would need to update, obviously, these here. 33. Let's do 65, actually. All right. Here's the focused throw string. Oh, I haven't set up a option. Give me 1 second to look at one of my options where I have. All right, chat box and view counter is what they're called. you're just going to put the chat box over on the side there. And view counter, about the same spot. And then I have a color source. All right. All right, so I can see stuff there. Cool. I don't see the number from that. I'm going to see if it looks any better actually on my stream. I'm going to see if it looks any better. Okay. No, that looks really bad. All right, let me remove that. Like 200 alpha probably. Oh, and put obviously the count and the stuff above it. Okay, that's probably the reason. Okay, there, that looks better. So that I can more easily see that nobody's watching. Cool. Huh. Projection. No, I'm going to read the description of focus throw again because that doesn't seem right. Um, common. Res. Language. English. Skills. All right, focus throw. Okay, so it is just one projectile. For some reason, I thought it was still two, one after the other. But okay, I will accept that it's not. if it's only one, if it's only one dagger, and it increases the damage by 200%, then that's an even greater damage loss than I thought it was. All right, let me peer back over to here. Okay, never mind. It sends one projectile, then it sends another. Okay, so it does still shoot two. Okay. I hate all these commented blocks. They're just blocks of code that aren't used anymore. Okay. Two projectiles that deal two or three projectiles that deal 2 or 3 damage. Okay. Okay, so cast to the biggest difference is it doesn't play the sound effect again. Okay. So you're going to have 9 missiles originally. So this will be 600% damage here if you're only shooting 2. You should never take this upgrade because it will make you do less damage. So, at the very least, I want the base level to do the same amount of damage, and then the one after that to do more. So I'm going to bump this up to plus 350, which would be 450% total damage, which would make 2 knives deal the damage of your spread, but more focused. And more focused usually isn't a good thing because you want to clear mobs. It's not mostly boss killing. And then it'll be a plus 50% damage if you take the second rare skill. And I think 2 talents for a 50% damage increase that is situationally worse is good enough. Um, it basically means that you're significantly increasing the DPS to make this even worthwhile. Um, but that's what it needs. So, adjusting the description there, the multiplier there, and I think that will be fine. Adjusted the poison percents to be 33, 65, and 1. 35. They like to do 5 numbers. Yeah, so let's do that. Crit's fine. It's not particularly good, but it's your most damaging spell, so. Alright, let's clean out also all the unused comments to make this a lot cleaner. Comments that describe things are great. Comments that block out code that you decide you didn't want anymore and then leave are infuriating. When trying to parse things. Alright. Cool. So we're good with the Rogue's Fan of Knives. Let's go peer at what else is here. Fury of Blades. This one needs a complete overhaul. Okay. Flurry of Blades has 3 different talents. Disarming Strike doesn't, like 40% disarms, not terrible. But for 3 skill point investments, that's pretty bad. Over something that, you know, doesn't have that big of a range. And there's a lot of things that are immune to disarm. All right. Well, let's get this over here first. All right. Let's work back to the unpacked assets. Actually, while we're here, just put these side by side when they're here, so. Oh, not Fan of Knives. Flurry. There we go. All right, let's take a look at this. Like looking at its damage, it doubles the damage of Fan of Knives. Not quite. It's less expensive, but it's also less area. It's not poison, so it doesn't fit into the poison bracket very easily. It doesn't have anything to upgrade in poison. And 1.5 times the cost. All right, I'm going to need to see this in game real quick, so I'm booting that up. Making a copy of the current save. Let's make a copy that's local so I don't get it mixed up, actually. Let's pull out a rogue. Make sure I know what this ability does, because I've never used it. Being frank. Let's see. The number of strikes doesn't change with level. The only thing it does is the damage, so I only need a couple. Alright. This ability is so bad it is probably going to need a good bit of work. Okay. So that's what it looks like. The cooldown's fine. You already have a super high attacking fan of knives. Because this is a secondary skill that you can opt not into, and because it has no benefit to add poison or significant poison damage. I think this deserves a substantial buff to damage. Do I think doubling it would be too much? Let's start with 45. 55. 65. 75. And 85. Not doubling, but I think that's a substantial curve, and mana cost is fine. They were going to have it have more hits along the way, but they took that and commented it out. Cooldown sign. You can get that really low with CDR anyway. It's both melee and physical. That's nice. 45 and then 10 all the way up. Oop, sorry. I missed every single one of these by one. Yeah, because it is a passive or a secondary skill. It needs to be good if you're going to want to have people use it because they can just not take points to make the primary better. So I don't even think this is going to get um, usage. The skill does hit 3 times, which for disarms this might be a fair ability, but this arm doesn't really come up much. Gonna give it a small buff though. Slows the main thing here. Uh, Okay, how does Fan of Knives change to poison? Because I always forget the formatting for that. Do you just redefine the array? Okay, you do. After the name. These should have the tags for lightning. So I'm going to throw that in there. And it should. Take a look at the description for. Sorry, that should have fire. It's blocked by lightning. All right. Well, this one did get lightning, but Bolus did not get fire. Okay. Yeah, the fire damage really isn't enough to be even notable. Um, it's the slow that matters here more than anything. So I guess increasing the duration a little bit would probably be the best buff that you can give this, which would subsequently also increase damage. Um, so I'll have to dig into the Sacrifice Val for buffs Rogue to deal with that. So we're going to pull that in. Oh, maybe I'm reading it wrong. No? Oh, oh, okay. 3, 40, 5. Cool. Lightning damage, let's take a look at that. Yeah, Fan of Knives gets up to 100%. This gets 40%. Um, Poison is so much better. Yeah, I'm feeling comfortable even just going to 33, 60, or 35, 65, 100 on this again too. For a shock assault. Because this ability is currently in the never used category. So lightning damage is also really bad. So maybe a big buff could just make it useful. Probably not though. Okay, it is normally 150 milliseconds between each one. Okay. For some reason I was thinking I was changing the timing on that too. Alright. Cool. Think that's a good start on Flurry. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Uh, Next set of skills. Grappling hook. Yeah, that's not a thing that currently exists. Uh, but that's unused. Uh, Slice and dice, I think, is mostly good. Is there anything that that's good for when you're leveling and low level? That's always good. Parry. Ugh. What do I want to do with parry? Let's take a look at what warrior does for their. Actually, I'm going to take a step away real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. So that's like a slice and dice and what it's actually doing for parry. Hmm. It's implying here that it does some blocking. I was thinking about just adding some DR, diminishing or damage reduction into this, but having this provide some parry and block, I don't think it should be a percentage-based block. Or that gets to be very hard math, though. Um, yeah, I'm thinking just flat damage reduction would be a good idea. Um, which means a lot of this is going to just be irrelevant. It goes back to buff rogues. Uh, no? What is it using? Stacks. Okay. All right, let's copy that over. Also open stacks warrior. Clear out all this dirty commented out code. Might fix another problem while I'm here. I don't think that's used. But no, that's not what I'm looking for. Cool. Oh, that's how they're adding the modifier. Okay. Okay, pop back into here. Here. Actually, look at what Warrior's doing this time for Rage. Get rid of that because that's not being used. don't use the block amounts. Okay. Um, 20% damage reduction be a lot for the first level of this ability. Most things only go up to 30. So I have it for the first level. Okay, cool. I think it should be able to handle a vector like that. If not, the game will yell at me. All right. Guess I need to open up the res file too now. That is absolutely thrilling to watch if anybody's tuned in yet. Oh, hey, Muffin. Yes. I don't know how long you've said that. I've had this. Oh, the 7 minutes ago shit. Yeah, I had OBS minimized, so I didn't even realize somebody was looking. Yep. Just working on trying to make the bad rogue talents better. So just number pushing. I don't think rogue is going to need serious rewrites like I did for the paladin and sorcerer. Because except for some things with blades, which I'm not even going to think about now, and the its secondary attack. Not a fan of knives, but flurry. It's a pretty functional class. Its defenses suck. So I'm trying to rework some of that, move it away a bit from evasion. All right, what was I looking at? Okay. Oh, it's Notepad++. Okay. Cool. These are the two ones I need to add. keep minimizing the OBS screen. Cool. At an angle I can't. Fingers are not on the right keys. All right. Yeah, that sounds like a good enough name. Man, I wish I could type. Is that the right color? I think that's the right color. If not, oops. No, I forgot these descriptions are less flavorful. Incoming. I don't need to. I'm not writing a D&D thing. Oh, and I have to close off the string up there too. All right. And then I also need to update. It's not a chance anymore. It's a damage reduction. What does warrior have for that? Not stacks warrior. Oh, berserk rage. Okay, just damage taken. Just gonna steal that. And delete the extra bracket I didn't get rid of. Alright, let me pop in game, make sure this isn't too off the walls. Copy. Mods. Oh, did I copy the wrong folder? I did. Alright. Alright, let's go to save profile. Make this local one modded. Okay, game. Oh, let me just not select anything. Okay, why are you mad at me? Okay, there we go. Don't know what that was about. Well, I fucked up. Okay, what did I mess up? Let's find out. Yeah, I probably need to turn the console back on if I'm going to be doing this. Configuration file? That's the configure. Okay. is. CS enabled. Took me a second. Nope. Let me just delete Rogue real quick and make sure that the console runs without Rogue, so I'm not starting off with something weird from previous run. All right. Is it now? Oh, yeah, it is actually marked pretty low. Let me. Is that better? Oh, that was a little probably too. Okay. I think that's good. It's not going to the red. And it might have just been pushed far away from my mouth also. All right. Okay, so it's something I did with Rogue that it doesn't like. That's good to know at least. Okay, where did I fuck up? Why did that work? I didn't change anything. It's... Yeah, those are the new damage values. I added the settings. I did not change them though. Okay, I'm just going to assume that the game decided to load this time because it was feeling better. Cool. Well, it's running with the current changes, so that's what matters. Yep, thank you, no plus plus. All right, I need to change this to the no useless skills. Okay, cool. So we got up to slice and dice done. I think everything else with slice and dice is pretty useful, so let me go test if this actually works, though. And not just that it loads. Okay. Let me pull Heroes of Hammerwatch. Shortcut onto my desktop. Create shortcut. Oh, that was already a shortcut. Okay, well, I'm going to drag that one to my desktop because I'm going to be opening that a bunch. Cool. Demolition Rogue. You know, I have to actually move over from my coding repository if I want the things to take effect. That would probably be a good idea. I'm going to clear out the old. Paste in the new. Now open it up. Well, that's at least better. Okay. What did I do? Did I not save the res file? That's probably it. Oh yeah, because I'm dealing with, I for some reason have that opening up in Notepad, not Notepad. Okay, never mind. Don't care about that so much. Can I actually view this in my stats? Actually, no, damage reduction isn't directly stated. So I'd have to have a reliable damage source that's actually doing damage to me. Okay. Hmm. Trying to get a reliable way to maintain the stacks. Which means I want the ability that gets it on casts, but I also want to have the ability that's doing the damage reduction. I'm making sure that it's working right with that vector. No. No. Okay. I should probably just put the trainer mod on and be able to spawn those. But I don't want complicating factors. All right. Did I run past it? Wait, where's the orb? Oh, it's up there. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try this the other way around. I'm going to start with agile casting. Okay. Okay. Hornet, come attack me. 234. 243. 239. 246. Okay. That does not look like it's doing the proper damage reduction. Yeah. Alright, well, I have both the buffs now, so I'm just going to quit. And I'm going to change it to something stupid, just to be sure that that's not doing what I want it to do. I'm going to change it so that the first tier gives it 100% damage reduction. Okay. Yeah, I know, but I also need stuff to hit me in town, and that's what I'm trying to do because it doesn't. Yeah. And I figured once I have it set up, I don't need to mess with it anymore. I just did not expect it to take me 3 or 4 tries. Sorry, just looking over to the chat now. Yes, continue, but quit immediately because I'm dumb and I didn't move the files again. Okay, I already saved. Yeah, that's definitely not working right. Actually, is it just armor? Maybe it's because these things are doing poison damage. That's the problem. Wolves, come here. Help me test. Nope, that's definitely not 0 damage. Okay. Wait, am I doing this exactly backwards? I might be. Do we have another one of these already? That would be a stacking damage reduction buff. I don't know if one already exists in the game for to peek at how they're doing that. Trying to run through all the class abilities real quick. I don't think there is. There's stuff that gives resilience, there's stuff that gives armor, and there's stuff that has values if you have the buff or not, but I don't think there's any stacking like I'm trying to do here. All right, let me see how this. Let me actually open up the function instead of just trying to guess what the code can do. All right, let's crack open modifiers. No. Use Notepad++. Stop. Okay. I don't think that's gonna work. Could just save a lot of time on myself, just give it a stacking armor benefit and resilience. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it doesn't help them not switching the channels. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I'm going to have to remember linear interpolation real quick. That is A plus A minus B times T. Okay. Let me pop that up into Desmos real quick. Okay. So if I want to have the final vector be sorry. Visualizing this might help my brain process it. It is running slow today, so I apologize to anybody who's trying to actually learn something, not just hanging out. Mm, love those sounds. No. Okay. So the initial value would be okay, let me change this back. So it was the original value, which is 0.05. Ugh, 0.1. Okay, maybe I'm not understanding what this is doing. Okay. Because the intensity is the number of stacks, I think. No, that would be the percent completed. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. I'm getting there. It's going to take me a bit. This is why I don't try to think on the weekends. Okay. Okay, so that should have worked. If that's what this is doing. Okay, let me make sure it actually has the most up-to-date code. Okay. So it starts at dealing 95% of the maximum damage, and then eventually, with full stacks, the damage taken multiplier should be, so you should take 0 of the damage. All right. Which is the extreme case, obviously. But that's what the code says. All right, paste that in there. Need to update something real quick. Okay, so at 20 stacks, I should have 100% damage reduction. Okay, let me actually make sure I keep 20 stacks up. Okay. Now let me take that ventral plate off. That's probably not going to be helpful. Why is that not working? Nope, transferring the... I know I'm failing with something very simple, and it is bothering me. All right. Well, I know what it is, and I feel dumb. But that's okay. You live, you learn. You get loves. Cool. I just had been doing wrong naming on here. Wasn't that the math was wrong? At the very least. The bind was wrong. Okay. It's been a while since I touched this. I think that's wrong. Because that needs... Okay. Yeah. Cool. And this is why you don't just copy and paste. I'm surprised it didn't yell at me more. All right, now I can copy that. Now save that, and might not work still. That's at least one of my stupid issues solved today. All right. Okay, safe to say that that is what the problem was. Cool. I need to remember to switch screens. Obviously, I don't want to keep 100%. Um, we're going to go with 10, 20, 30 as the usual classes go for stacks of slice and dice, which will mean 0.99, or sorry, 0.995, 0.99, and 0.985. Then I need to also open up the res file. I think it was still yelling at me. How do I do it for sorcerer? Or paladin since they're first. All right. Might not be the one I modified. Okay. Um, I know I definitely modified protection. Okay, no dot. Gotcha. That's what I was thinking I was messing up. Nope, that still has dot. All right, silly, stupid issue solved. Moving on to the next thing. I think that's the only problem that was with slice and dice. Um, moving down the list here to assets here. Not gonna touch Mortal Strike yet. Already got Fury. We don't have access to Grappling Hook. Evasion. I'm actually kind of fine with evasion. I think it should stack, but I already changed that, the max stacks to 3. Um, sidesteps timer's fine. I would bump up the movement speed benefits on here, though. Given that you're having to invest 3 talent points in it, and 25% movement speed is something that haste just gives you for casting it. Seems silly. Yeah, for a class that's, themed as being super fast and dexterous, to be slower than the spellcaster that gets everything. even when they're fully investing into it. Um, Although I should probably be doing it on the rogue skill over here. All right, make sure I didn't end up just naming that something weird. Okay, cool. That's fine. That's the only change I'd make with evasion. Keeping going down the list. Um, don't think I have an issue with poison rogue. Any of their abilities. They're pretty good across the board. Um, so I think they get a pass. Demolition, the artificer suit. Let me pull up what all the perks it gets. I think the 25% armor is nice. Um, shrapnel dealing 20 damage is really bad. And Zap dealing the damage that it does is also really bad. Do I need to just change out those abilities altogether, though? I might have to think on that one. Because this is the passive skill for the set. Um, Having both the options being ways that add more damage to an ability that just is normally more armor, more physical. Um, Seems weird. I'm wondering if one of these could be um, something like not as strong as the sorcerer's resistance per level, but I think having a subclass that yeah the armor is providing you actual defenses um, might be nice. Uh, it might be cheap to just do a resistance per level, but that or just a static percent of resistance. For one of these. Shrapnel, like from a gameplay perspective, also doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it means you're really bad at what you're doing because it's not like this isn't the bomb exploding. This is the suit that you're wearing is exploding. Um, that's not good. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to step away for a bit and think about the rest of these abilities because I'm looking through them. And like I said, poison's good. Artificer, these need to be retooled altogether because they don't add any utility. Um, by the time you can get them, the damage is already negligible, and there's nothing you can do to help it. Um, the explosive exit is a very interesting ability and very cool. Incendiary and shock grenades modify the core experience of grenades. At least incendiary does. Um, it kind of encourages a elemental plan that Fan of Knives doesn't offer, but Flurry might. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think on that some. But yeah, thanks Muffin for hanging out, and anybody else who jumped in the chat. I'm gonna step away, get a late lunch, and think about these a little bit more.